Yeah, this random talking in the park thing doesn't get old. It's still weird. So in the last video, I'm not sure if you saw it. If you did, great. Honestly, that's really awesome. If you didn't, then I will mention what I'm talking about. All of this is being recorded on my iPhone 6. That's why I was starting to say about the audio quality and video quality. I did have an awesome Nikon DSLR. It's not that I don't have it anymore, it's that I ended up passing it over to my stepdaughter. She takes really awesome pictures. She has really great interest in photography. And I feel like with the amount of selfies that end up on my phone, my wife's phone, her phone, that she'll probably end up using it more. She goes out a lot to places where it'll be a lot more useful. So I pass it on to her. She's got it now. Another good thing about the fact that I'm not using a DSLR, I don't have to worry about spending that much money on a camera. I have it already, and I kind of have it with me anywhere. So I can just take pictures of whatever, or a video of whatever, whenever. As you might see, I went to Chelsea with my wife, my stepdaughter, and some of her cousins the other day. Took some cool pictures with just this iPhone. It was just like black and white, and that was it. So, it can be done. You don't have to have a DSLR. It's awesome, but you don't have to. And like I said, I just started doing this. So, there's that. But anyway, going to talk about my rod and reel arsenal, I guess. And everybody kind of does these, but I only have a couple of rods that I exclusively use. For, let's say, saltwater, I have one rod basically. For freshwater, I have one rod for the most part. So I don't have a ton. I have like 4 or 5. I just recently sold 2 rods and reels that I had. Yeah, 2. So I don't really need them. I don't use them. So I have what I have now, and this is what I use. So get right into it. Alright, first one, freshwater. This is the Ugly Stick GX2. It's 7 foot, medium heavy. No, actually it's medium. And paired with that, I have this good old Lew's American Hero reel. First bait casting reel for me. As I said in my last video, I've only been doing freshwater for, I think I said since the end of this past summer. Yeah, so it hasn't been all that long. I haven't really felt the need to upgrade or anything. It'd be great. Obviously, we all want as many rods and reels as we can get, but we can't always do that. So, it is a pretty good reel. I'm not really doing a review on it or anything, but I haven't had any issues. Just the same beginner things that happen with birds' nests and whatnot. It is weird with people around. I think they're watching me. Anyway, like I was saying, so I'm not doing a review on this. I'm just telling you what I use and I guess how I feel about it. So it is their AH-1H right hand retrieve. I guess I'm a right-handed guy, but I feel like it should be on the other side, but I don't like it there. I'm more comfortable with it being on the right hand side and casting with my right. That's just me, whatever. Right out of the box it was great, especially for the first time that I ever used a bait caster. I use a lot of spinning reels, I guess. Like I said, it's the only bait casting reel that I have / had now that I got rid of 2 of my rods and reels. And the other thing with the rod, you'll find that accidentally I exclusively use Shakespeare Ugly Sticks. It's not on purpose, I swear. They always just happened to be that. I read like 1 or 2 reviews on Ugly Stick and how it was like the best most unbreakable rod or anything, whatever. Cool. I got one, thought it was awesome, and then I kind of just ended up getting them after that just because they were a great deal, and yeah. So that's what I am using for freshwater. I ended up going to a website that some of you may or may not know, and it's kind of fit right into the whole subscription, monthly subscription, lure, bait thing that's super popular now in the fishing world. It's called Fishing Care Package. Either way, if I say it or if I don't. They're pretty good. I got a ton of stuff from them, oddly, like a ton. And that's pretty much what I just started using to fish freshwater. It was great because it's like a little bit of everything. So if you don't know what you're doing, or you just want to get like a bunch of stuff on a budget, start out, it's awesome. So I did that. Got a ton of stuff. I was trying to throw basically everything that there was in this box. But the thing that has honestly worked the best so far, that I caught pretty much most of my fish on, and I'm not advertising. A friend of mine turned me onto this. I made my whole pond pack. You may or may not have seen it on my Instagram. If you're on my Instagram, if not, check it out. It's still LIPondhopper. Scroll through, you'll find it. But I made like this pond pack, basically. It was just a bunch of stuff that I thought would be great to just kind of take, instead of taking every single thing that I have to wherever I was going, because as is the name, I just kind of hop around from pond to pond. So I don't need to take everything. So I made a pond pack, basically, just kind of show you. There's stuff in here. It's too much stuff. I'm going to sort it out. But that's not the point of this. So pretty much for right now, I'm kind of exclusively throwing these Kitex. I have basically two different kinds that I liked. I have this, I don't know if you can really see the coloring on that. It's a 4-inch, it's the swing impact. It's not the fat, because the fat is like that long. It's for, you know, a lot bigger fish. This is Silver Flash Minnow, and it's like green with some, it's green on top, clear on the bottom, some, you know, black, green, and gold flake inside of it. Just lost it. Anyway, that, and then I also have this electric shad, Easy Shiner. It's 4-inch. As you can see, some of the colors kind of got blessed here with some really great lighting. But it's like a gray on top. It's got some really nice blue and like salt and pepper looking flakes inside of it, and clear on the bottom. But it's pretty awesome. It's got, you know, the channel on the bottom and on the top, so basically you can rig it, you know, weedless, which is what I do. I'm using also kind of exclusively and by mistake, not really by mistake, I'll give it up that basically a lot of people were saying that Gamakatsu was like the best hook. There's plenty of other hooks. It's not the first, you know, the first hook that I ever used, but Gamakatsu, I think this is a 3/0 extra wide gap worm hook, and I've been just kind of rigging it, you know, just like that. Obviously you all know, or if you don't, whatever, you know, just kind of thread it through. And you can find this all over the internet, YouTube, whatever. And I like to actually pull the head inside. I don't know if you saw that, but I pull the head inside all the way before I put it through, so that way I can see where it's gonna be. But I kind of run it like this too. I basically leave like my knot inside, so my knot isn't really coming undone, or I kind of lessen the risk of my knot coming undone by like a tooth or something on a pickerel, which I catch all the time. Not bragging, it's just there's a lot of them in my favorite pond, which we're not at today, by the way, I forgot to mention, but I'll get back to that. yeah, so I pretty much just kind of exclusively run these. This isn't really working out because this is kind of a crap one. But you can look it up, you can find out how to do it. So those are the colors that I'm primarily running. The other day, I was kind of freaking out a little bit, and call it what it is. You know, it's kind of lame. I was freaking out because I didn't have any more of my go-to baits. So I picked up a bunch more, Kitex of course, but I got a couple of new colors. Still going with the 4-inch shiner, but this one is called Bluegill Flash. It's pretty awesome. Coloring is really cool. Honestly, if I was a bass, I'd probably eat this too, or any other fish. It looks delicious. Other thing, got the electric shad color in the swing impact as well. So I got some of those. I think I have one even rigged up in here already. I may or may not, I don't know. But, I don't know, here we go. So, there's that. The swing impact. Yeah, so, I have 2 different Kitech baits in the same color. Why? It may not be all that important to some of you, whatever. But I have found that during the same time that I was in one spot, that fish had reacted differently to either bait. And it's the same color, but if it's getting a little tough, I'm probably gonna go to this because it has a lot more action. I'm literally barely moving this right now. This one, I need to actually move it a little bit. Still have great swimming action, but for some reason, I guess it's the ribs in here, and you'll probably notice that there's a lot of companies that are making like these kind of baits like this. They may call them tech baits, or you know, they may not give them a similar name at all. They'll just show it to you, and you'll recognize it as basically being, you know, one of these Kitechs, you know, with tech in the last name. But they work. So it's a great design. Thank you, Kitech, for coming out with it. And congrats to all of you that are copying it and being successful at it also. It works, whatever. But that's not to say that the shiner, or this kind of like mini fluke looking bait, doesn't work either though. It has great action, it's awesome, but these work sometimes, they don't always work. And then if this isn't working, I just switch to this, and I will probably get at least 2 really great reaction bites. But yeah, so those are those. That's what I'm usually rigging on. And I don't know if anybody wants to like recommend anything, or just kind of, you know, shame me or whatever. The fact that I keep losing these things. It's a hollow body frog. It's top water, yeah, but I've never lost this one. Only the yellow one that I have. I have probably gone through about 4 of them, and I've never caught anything on them. I haven't gotten them stuck in a fish or on a, you know, well, I've gotten them stuck on other things, just not in a fish. It's kind of embarrassing. Anyway, that, and also my big black and blue jigs. I lose those things like crazy. Black and blue jig with a craw on it, like a blue black craw on it. I lose them all the time. All the time. Yeah, anyway. So, that is that for the freshwater. Salt. This is not anything special. It is also not a Shakespeare rod or reel, but it is the Daiwa Samurai rod and reel. I have this because it's kind of my go-to. It's like a 6.6, I think. Let me see. Yeah, it's a 6.6 medium action. But once I started picking up fishing again, like the beginning of last year or year before, I can't remember. I just needed pretty much what everybody kind of goes to. Like, hey, it's affordable. I can get it. It's sturdy. Daiwa. It's a great name. You know, there's plenty of great names out there. Just get some advice. Get what you're comfortable with. Get what you can afford. Don't put yourself out just so that you can, you know, be like everybody else or whatever. But that's what this did for me. I still use it all the time. I hated the line that was on it, so I switched right to braid. And everything I have has braid on it, everything. This I think has, let's see, it's probably about 15-pound braid. My freshwater that I just showed you has 30-pound braid, and that's mainly because not of the size of the fish that I get, but because of the type of the fish that I get. With all the pickerel around and the teeth that they have, they like to eat through. And there was actually one time where they were just kind of eating right through the line, probably after like 3 fish. Each time I had to retie because they ate through the line, and I had to retie. So I asked around. Buddy said step up the braid like 5 pounds, and I went 10 instead. So I was using 20. I'm at 30 now, and I actually picked up some 50-pound braid for another salt. Well, I shouldn't say saltwater. I'm claiming it as saltwater rod and reel, which I originally got for my trip at the end of last year upstate with some buddies of mine. We went up to Pulaski, upstate New York. It's pretty much like by Canada. The Pulaski trip was for steelhead and salmon, or pretty much whatever we could catch. So not having ever done that, but saw an awesome opportunity, I said, I don't think any of my rods and reels are gonna handle this. Yeah, thank you, appreciate that. Geese, they're the jealous types. Yeah, those guys. It's like a couple that just doesn't want that one to be near them, whatever. So the Pulaski trip was for steelhead, salmon of whatever kind was still left. Unfortunately, it was after the big run that, you know, literally everybody and their dad, brother, sister, whoever decides to go squat next to. Hey, I'm here. Hey, you're right here. A lot of people. Not really into that. Regardless of whether there's enough fish for people to stand that close, I like my personal space. It's nice. But anyway, I got it for that. It's like a 9-foot rod. It's got a decent reel on it. It's probably like a 2500 series size reel. And I threw some 30-pound braid on that. Took it to Brooklyn one day because we didn't catch anything Pulaski. Took it to Brooklyn, tried to do a little saltwater fishing there. It's got great distance, but I didn't catch anything. I think it was just the spot that I was in. It was a weird spot. I found a park that seemed like nobody really knew about too much, and it ended up going like right to the Hudson. Actually, no, it didn't go into, it didn't go to the Hudson. It went to the Coney Island Channel, actually. I'm sorry. Yeah, these geese. I'm sorry. Anyway, went right to Coney Island Channel, so it's fairly large. It's right where the Verrazano goes. So with the you-know-what season being right here, stripers, I figured, why not? What size is a striper gonna be out there? Well, if I'm lucky, it might be about the same size as a salmon. Why not? So I figured, why not do that? But because I might get extra lucky, probably not. I think I'll put 50-pound braid on there because I don't like to take chances. If I'm gonna be throwing out some good lures, spending my time all the way out in Brooklyn, because I don't live that close to Brooklyn. It's probably about a 30-minute drive for me. I think I'm gonna take the time and use some really heavy braid, which you can handle, plenty of it. I got like 300 yards. I'm not putting all 300 yards on there. Being that it's a 9-foot rod, I'm sure I could wing it out there. I'm gonna need to get past the jetty that I saw at this park that I will try to get to again. Anyway, so I got that. I have it here. There's no point in showing it to you. I'll show it to you, I don't care. Yeah, also, yeah, I put rod socks on all my rods. I just took them off on the other ones for purposes of showing it to you conveniently. And the fact that I have rod socks on right now on this, showing you how convenient it was to take them off beforehand. Shakespeare Ugly Stick Elite. It is 9-foot rod. I don't have a handle on here because it's literally the exact same as another Ugly Stick GX2 I have, so I kind of interchange it. I bought the other Ugly Stick knowing it didn't have it on there, and I got a deal on there because it was missing pieces, so figured why not. And then I'm probably not going to be using this at the same time that the other one will be used. I'll probably use my Daiwa when I use the other Ugly Stick, like if I want to take like my wife out fishing or stepdaughter or one of my friends, whatever. I'll just use both the smaller ones. It'll probably be easier to use that anyway. And then I can just take the handle from the big rod and leave it on the Ugly Stick, the GX2. That's what I meant. They're both Ugly Sticks, but anyway. I guess everybody left. I think I weirded them out with talking to myself in the park, but there was like a bunch of kids, so maybe they're like, this guy's weird, I don't know. Don't take that the wrong way. I am weird, but not for that kind of reason. Anyway, so yeah, that is what I am going to be using until at some point maybe I get something else. Like I said earlier, I don't really see a need to upgrade to another, or basically get another rod and reel right now for freshwater. I don't need to for salt. Don't want to, but maybe when that time comes, then I will. So, yeah. So I guess the geese are trying to help me test the audio quality. If you can hear them, thumbs up. Okay. Really, guys? I don't know, that one's kind of spazzing out, shaking his head like crazy, like he's at a concert. Pretty sure that goose was just headbanging.